It has been an entire year since I've had my last actual pod. Um, a lot of life has happened, a lot of changes, but it's taken a lot of time. But we're back with a brand new pepper season. But I still got a whole bunch of peppers from last season frozen in the freezer right now. So those I'll bust out here and there. But I wanted to start. I've still been eating kind of hot, just occasionally, just like if I go to Buffalo Wild Wings, I'll still occasionally. I might go to that. I probably only went a handful of times this year. Uh, Occasionally Wingstop. I haven't had anything too hot other than just over the counter, just hot sauces. This is from Walmart. Some new stuff that came out. A lot of it is kind of hot. I mean, for store brand, it's up there, but it's nothing crazy like a fresh pod. But I wanted to take this opportunity to actually lower my active tolerance and maybe even my base because I've been building a tolerance for the past 4 or 5 years now, and most of that was from hot sauces and the hottest wing sauce I can get. And now with the new Buffalo Wild Wings Blazin', the Knockout Blazin', it's up there. If you haven't had it, try it. I think I think there's a lot of super hots in there. I think they said there was like 9 or 11 or I don't know how many peppers are in there, and it starts from pretty sure with the Carolina Reaper. There's Dragon's Breath, Scorpion, Ghost Pepper, and then kind of go down the list, jalapeno, habaneros, and all that. That one's got a lot of actual peppers in it, maybe even extract, but that's a good sauce. It tastes great. Get a couple wings in to get it. You kind of get the idea of what a super hot tastes like, but or feels like rather. But it's still, in my opinion, it's hotter than like a fresh habanero, and it's kind of around where a ghost pepper for a sauce, and that's pretty good for commercial. But I kind of wanted to rebuild my tolerance from as low as ground zero as I could, but my base tolerance. I say base because if I had any of these peppers or any of these sauces 10 years ago, they would have had me on the floor. Three ghost pepper wings from a any kind of place, wing place. I mean, I would have had hiccups, tears, and just it would have been a nightmare. But over the past 5, 6, 7 years, that is kind of entry level to me now. So over time, you can build that base tolerance, and that kind of never really leaves you. You have that you're kind of adept and adapted to super hots and just and chili head. You can call yourself a chili head. You like spicy things, but active tolerance wise, that fluctuates. That's what you're having weekly, and mine is pretty low. I used to be able to eat 20 of those knockout blazons, and I mean the only thing that would suck about that or come back later is a little bit of almost cap cramps, but nothing too crazy. But they're definitely hot wings. But I wanted to kind of document my journey of different peppers and show you the struggle, if I have a struggle, of starting from pretty much nothing. I haven't had any pods this year, and I'm kind of speed this up. I know it's going already 3 minutes, but this is a Fatalii. This is one of the I wouldn't say household names, but this is one of the basic peppers in the pepper community. This is something I hear about a habanero level heat. It's got a little bit of flavor. It's crossed with some other peppers for some super hots, and it's used a lot, and it's a very popular pepper in the pepper community. So we're gonna start out with this. I've never had one of these. I've been wanting to try one of these for the longest time, and this will start my journey with fresh pods, and we'll see how this goes. Give that a little look. I'm not gonna cut it open today, but I got some other ones later on. We'll try. We got some 7-pot brain strain. And then I'm not sure what this is. I think this is a chocolate bootla, I think. And these are some free peppers I pulled up, and we got a handful of Fataliis. We're gonna try some of those. I'm probably gonna pull the seeds out of those, but we're gonna try this right now. Go ahead and give it a review and see how it goes. straight to the throat. Almost choking on it. There's a little bit of a sweet flavor. At first. I struggle early on with peppers because I gotta get used to the flavors, but it's hot. Honestly, it really reminds me of habanero. It's building right now. All up front. Then it's a bright, bursting with flavor and heat right away. All to the front of the mouth. I can see how last year, well, there's hiccups. I probably would have handled this one a lot better. But you gotta remember, this is the first pod of this year. And some of y'all that have seen some of my videos from the past, I've handled hotter, but this one's, it's all the way in the front. I like that. I like that burn. Wow. That's the first Fatalii ever. And I do have one tear coming out. Saliva. It's gonna sound weird, but when you're eating anything super hot, especially sauces, but peppers too, you start salivating. All that thick saliva. It's gross, but honestly, that's what I hate the most about peppers is so much saliva, but you start choking on it, and it sounds weird, but if you don't get it in one clean swallow, if it hangs anywhere, it'll burn. And wow, my tolerance is low. If you watched any of my other past videos, I've had Red Primatali, I've had Reapers, I've had not everything, but what that's a part of this journey is to experience one pepper at a time. A little bit of nose run. It's already peaked. We're at the come down, but a lot of saliva. Mouth is watering a lot. That's the only thing I really don't like about peppers. Somewhat of the taste, just depending down on what didn't taste bad. But it's hanging around. You're probably gonna think I'm crazy with this. I'm gonna try to rate it, and I'm gonna try to be consistent. It's gonna fluctuate because your tolerance changes. But at the moment, with my active tolerance being low, I'm gonna give it 2 different scales. And you chili huts, you understand it. You might understand this, but I'm gonna give it. There's a comfort, and then there's a heat. Comfort is when you go beyond really your heat and how you, or what the flavor and the feeling in your mouth is, and the comfort is more like almost a scale of like where you are at panicking and your comfort of handling the heat. It might be really, really hot, but I'm gonna try to do my best to describe these 2 different scales because there are so many peppers and the heat ranges wildly on these. They burn different ways, but heat for this one, it's gonna be hard and difficult to develop a heat scale. But at the moment, at my tolerance now, because this is gonna change, my heat right here, probably 4.5. 4 or 5.5, somewhere in there, because it made me. I have reactions, but my comfort is probably my memory of past peppers and where I've been and where I'm at of like freaking out or I need to go get water. I need to do something to mask the heat. You know, that panic, or I need to. What am I doing? You know, comfort probably a 2.5 to 3. It woke me up. And that's a good starting pepper. It's all in the front. I think it's a different burn than a habanero, but at the same time it's similar. Flavor is similar. It's not as smoky, a little bit fruity, but I could see that being used in the similar areas as a habanero. The heat level is probably about a habanero, but it's all in the front, and it was a burst of heat. Habanero kind of goes everywhere, but this was at the roof of the mouth, not really far in the back or under the tongue or anything. Pepper burp. But I didn't want to make this too long. But that very good pepper. We're gonna try another one probably tomorrow. Let's see how that goes. So heat scale is about 4.5, 5.5, somewhere in there, probably 5-ish. Last year I feel like I could have called this a 3 or 2. But the goal is that journey to build that active tolerance. And, like I said, we went a whole year without a pod. And I can feel that. And we're going to try to go bigger this year. And do bigger things than I did last year. I think the most impressive feat that I did, and this is just, my story. On one of my breaks at work, I brought 2 Pocky 1 chips and one that got banned because of that incident. That and I did I think a Jurassic Jerky is the company, and they have like a challenge. So I did 2 Pocky 1 chips, the 2023 version, and the bag of that 2.5 ounce or something like that. That was just running that bag of jerky. And I did that one time, and did the rest of my time and clocked out. Didn't feel bad until I got home. Cap grants did come in, but I was cool. That was probably like, I don't know, my burn for me was like a 6.5 or 7, and that was so much then. And I don't know, but that was probably the most I've done at one time, and I want to see if I can surpass that this year. I do have a few 1 chips left, but I'm gonna see if I can do that with pods. We're growing some and we're buying some. But I hope y'all enjoyed. It's already come down. I'm probably sitting on a heat of 1.5. It's all in the front. It's kind of sizzling down. There's no panic or whatever. It's a cool, calm, collective. But I hope y'all enjoyed. If you got any questions about peppers or my journey, let me know. And this is the first of hopefully many of the building up my tolerance to spice journey. And I'll see y'all next time.